and it is VEDA Day 7. And today is Thursday. Today's prompt is in honor of Throwback Thursday, and we are supposed to tell you a story from our past, and it could be true or it could be false. And it's up to you if our story is true or not. You're supposed to guess. So I'm going to tell my story. And my story brings us back about, I'm thinking 6 years. I don't remember the exact year, but it was 6 years, about 6 years ago. And it was in a summer. And I had went to Arizona, which is something I do often because I love Arizona. You guys have heard me say that many times. But this was probably I'm thinking it was one of the first times I had went there. And there is a place across the street from Diamondbacks Field called Cooperstown. And as you may or may not have guessed, it's kind of a play on words. Kitty. It's kind of a play on words. Cooperstown is in relation to baseball, of course. But this place is actually owned by Alice Cooper. Now, hopefully all you guys know who Alice Cooper is. Well, we decided we wanted to go in there because this place is supposed to have awesome, awesome burgers. They're all named after baseball players. And at the time, Mark Grace, who used to be a Chicago Cub, was one of the announcers for the Diamondbacks. And he is like one of my all-time favorite baseball players. Cooperstown had a Grace burger that I wanted to try out. So we went there. And there weren't too many people in the place because we went. It was in the middle of the week on an afternoon, and there weren't too many people in there. There wasn't an actual game that day, which is the reason I'm sure the place is much more crowded when there's a baseball game going on. So we go in, and it was myself, my husband, and my cousin, who actually lives in Arizona. And we go in, and the waitress sits us down. Or not the waitress, the hostess, I should say, sits us down. A couple minutes later, the waitress comes to us after we're done looking at the menu and figuring out what we want. And we were sitting down at a table that was 6 people. It could fit 6 people. It was like a rectangular table, 3 on one side, 3 on the other. And myself and my husband were on this side, and our backs were to the door. My cousin was on the other side of the table, and she was facing the door. After the waitress had taken my cousin's order, she had turned to face us, so the waitress was then also facing the door. And I'm in the middle of placing the order for my Grace burger, and my cousin's face and the waitress's face lights up like a Christmas tree. And the waitress was obviously in the middle of asking me a question. She completely lost track of what she was asking me, what I was saying. It was like I wasn't even there anymore. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I turn around, and who's standing behind me but Alice Cooper? And I was in shock. I get up, start talking to him, and I ask for my picture to be taken. He's like, yeah, sure, absolutely. And my husband takes the picture. And first of all, that guy is short. Now, I'm not a tall girl. So when I say someone is short, you know I'm talking business. Completely side note. Anyhow, at that point, we learned that the waitress, or the hostess, had sat us at his table. Now, there's plenty of other tables in the place we could have moved to because there wasn't that many people in the place at the time. And the hostess did not know what to do because apparently he always likes sitting at this one table. And you can kind of see him whispering to her, and she was like, not knowing what to do. And he mentions that we are actually sitting at his table. Would we mind if he sat with us? So, like I said, there was plenty of room at this table. There was seating for 6, and there was only 3 of us. So he sits down. Because we're like, yeah, absolutely, we'll have lunch with Alice Cooper, why not? So, another drive-by kitty run, sorry. So, he sits down, and he tells the waitress that he wants his usual. So, at this point, I'm wondering what his usual is. Well, When his usual came out, it wasn't anything that I could recognize off the menu. So I'm assuming it was like a special Alice Cooper burger, of which case the next time I go there, which I haven't been there since, I'm going to try that one out. I'm going to ask for the Alice Cooper special and see if they look at me crazy or not. But long story short, I had lunch with Alice Cooper at Cooperstown in Phoenix, Arizona. That is my story from about 6 years ago. So you decide if I am telling the truth or not. And while you're deciding, I am going to toss in a slideshow of some throwback pictures of Fee. And at the end of that slideshow, I will tell you whether or not I am telling the truth about my Throwback Thursday story. Talk to you guys tomorrow for VEDA Day 8.